Back in the winter of 2017, we had a really long sort of 1 week stretch of just disastrous weather. And leading up to that point, I was already starting to get into the mindset of I just can't manage having so many large palm trees in Zone 5B. It was just too much to handle. I think at one point I had probably about 7 large palm trees that I was protecting every year, and it was really starting to get me down, which led me to making this comment. I'm done having so many large trackies to protect. I'm gonna have my big one in the front that I'm obviously bringing, and then one of these guys. Let's have one in the front, one in the back, and then bring up my needle palms too. So once moving to our new house, I downsized. I was just gonna have 2 larger palm trees to cover, and then have the smaller needle palms because they're really not a big deal. And then a couple of years ago, I ran into this issue with the Trachycarpus fortunei that I had for 10 years. So I've never had this happen yet, but the entire top of my palm has been eaten. Pineapple Dan, if you're watching this, I think I'm going to be coming to visit you this spring for a new palm tree. It's so frustrating. So when I thought it was dead, I immediately got on the phone with Pineapple Dan and ordered a new palm tree. But as you guys know, if you follow my channel, that tree came back, and it came back again it came back again this year, even after being improperly protected. So this is what the palm tree I got from Dan looked like when it was living in the pot. So here it is. This is the new Trachycarpus fortunei that I purchased from Dan in Niagara, and this was the one that was going to be in the spot of the other one that was attacked by mice over the winter time. But as that one is pulling through, I don't have a place for this one. So my plan is I'm just going to leave it in this pot, and I'm going to water it well, and it's going to be like my backup. I'm just going to leave it in a pot all year, bring it in the garage, and plant it in the future if I feel like I've got a spot for it, or if something else kicks the bucket. So this spring, when I started uncovering everything, and once I knew that the windmill palm in the backyard was going to be fine again, I was looking at this tree and concerned that it's going to live in a pot again. It's pretty root bound. I really need to find a space for it in the garden. So that's what we're going to show today. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you the new Trachycarpus fortunei that I have now planted in the ground, meaning now I have 3. So I've kind of broken my rule, but I think you guys are going to see where it's located. You're going to understand why. And Scott of November is going to hate me for planting it and having to protect it again. But it's still small, and it's going to stay small for a while. So later on, I'll worry about it. But I think it looks great. Let's go around and have a look at it. So here it is, guys. What ended up happening was the southern magnolia that I had planted here, the Bracken's Brown Beauty, looked horrible. It's now located in the side of the house, which you've seen in a previous video. It's still actually looking dead. So I feel like I need to give up on my southern magnolia dream finally. I'm lucky enough that I can grow Virginianas and the regular type of magnolias, but my dream of having a decent sized southern magnolia here might be a pipe dream. So I thought to kind of complement the needle palms, it really made sense for the Trachycarpus to go in this spot. It's also quite sheltered as it's smaller, so it's got the shed, it's got the fence, and during the winter time, this is the sunniest portion of the yard. The other portion of the yard close to the house is shaded in the winter time. And it's not that you want direct sun on a palm tree in the winter time, but because I cover it, and because there's a heat source already inside, so this one will have either heat tape or it'll have C9 lights, I'm not sure yet. but what you really want is for the sun to be hitting the structure in the wintertime and heating it for you, so you're not just constantly running lights or whatever heat source you're using. The other thing about having a palm in a really sunny location that's covered is that the ground will be less frozen than it is, say, by the one that I have by the deck. So the ground really does freeze there for a lot of the winter, where in this section it'll de-thaw more frequently, and in the spring when the sun is really on this section, it will be even less frozen and de-thaw quicker than some of the other spots in the yard. So I'm happy with it there. I think it's going to be pretty easy to protect, at least for the first few years. One thing I will note is that in the past I had one other decent sized Trachycarpus fortuna that I got small like this, and it was a pot grown. It wasn't field grown like the other Trachycarpuses I have, and it grew like crazy. The field grown ones, when you plant them here, what I found over the years is they take a long time to grow, which is actually okay by me. Then they're not getting too large to protect. But pot grown ones have, I don't know, just the roots seem to just take off right away. So it'll be interesting to see if this one grows like a weed over the coming years that that it's in this location. I think that's about it, guys. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about it in this section. Let me know if you think I'm crazy for planting another palm tree. I appreciate you guys watching the videos. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.